go.
Let's jump in, shall we?
I was on my own because I didn't want Slayer slash Luck to interfere.
Okay. Well, you're all on the train, um, the Tinker train. So, uh, I'm going to do the quick little intro, just so we know where to start. Cut. Right. Um, Hello everyone, and welcome
Hello.
to another session of Seraphina, a D&D 5e campaign I play with my friends. These are my friends, and I have a shiny new microphone and headset now that they can actually hear me, and I stop getting cut off mid-sentence. Um,
1 second.
What?
where we left off,
Betty!
and new shiny Zoom as well with weird effects.
Oh my god!
Um,
Yeah,
this,
that's
oh
fine.
no, oh
Yeah, confetti.
no, oh God. Am I going to have to deal with this now?
I
Yes.
mean, you could just tell us not to, and I won't.
I really don't mind. React. How? Oh gosh. Okay.
1 second.
What does this do? Right. Okay. Where we left off. Um, hot on the tails of killing a bar guest, um, and butchering some cockatrice, um, looting said bar guest for some interesting little bit of oddity uh, bits and pieces. You have once again been trudging across the wetlands west of River Point. And upon your approach of probably just about 2 days out, um, you encountered the thundering, rolling wheels of the Tinker Train, a large mechanical cart-like transport rolling across the wetlands in its thick, large onset wheels, with spikes that help it quickly traverse this awful terrain. Um, and upon encountering this transport, you met um, a tabaxi, a very well dressed tabaxi, um, who invited you on board at a price and offered transport at a price. Discussions were had, bargains were made, a little bit of sabotage to the train was made and quickly fixed by Gorath, the dwarven tinker who remains on board to attend to the needs of the tinker train. Um, and yes, Luck got herself a new cloak. Ellie bought a jar, and Nick Nack is along
Losing all
for
my
the
clothes.
ride. Yeah, Nick Nack is paying for it all. Uh,
I paid for my own things, thank you.
Need a plate. A good plate. That was.
and we were settling down on the Tinker train in
I
one
shot
of
them, I
its
killed them, I get to sell their
luxurious
shit.
compartments.
At least some of it.
Um, and the tabaxi whose name you have not yet acquired nor have asked for
Did.
has
And he was
didn't.
sarky about it, so I was like, okay.
Well, either way, he has
He
now
was all
left this
tabaxi about it.
compartment. Yes, he left this compartment. He moved on to another compartment, leaving you in this rather luxurious, oddity-filled compartment with wingback armchairs and typewriters that seem to do all sorts of different things around the chamber. And Ellie, you sat with Fiona and shared with her a memory in a jar about iron and your first encounter with it as a child.
when I was a child.
Yes. And it was at the end of last session that Fiona was staring up at you, looking somewhat perplexed/horrified, asking, "What are you?"
My birth father was Fey. Mother was human. Fey call me Lashi.
Okay.
Half fairy, half mortal.
And what do you want?
To get you to River Point, to get Knick-Knack back to Erendor, and to get the iron out of the water.
As I said, I'm not 100% sure about how that iron is in the water in the first place. Most of it's made of wood.
Yes, and I don't entirely know how that jar works, but you understand why. Yes?
Yes, I get it. I understand. But
Well,
convincing my father, on the other hand,
the
he might see that
Nixies.
as a good thing of getting rid of. Now, I know
Oh,
you say they're part of this world and all this stuff, but I
if
think if we're going to try and stop whatever is happening, we might need to approach my father with a little bit more
that's why I wanted the
tact.
jar. I'm terrible at explaining things when it comes to this. I wish Mahir was here. Not you, Mahir.
Yeah.
It means something like teacher.
Well, you can show him all your memories all you like. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to. Not as
I know.
open-minded to the
So
world.
am I. This is just emotional. Sorry, Sleer's trying to interfere.
I'm not
Okay,
here. I'm not here.
and try and speak to him when we get to it. I can't make any promises what he will do or say, but
I know.
I would start by maybe investigating the sites, maybe
I
having a
have
look at them
two
before we even go
things
to him.
I feel like I should tell you, especially sitting where you live. Which is amazing the fact that you. I need to. This is why I wanted to tell you things, because I admonish your ignorance and I refuse to teach you.
I
I'm
don't know whether
being an
to be.
asshole.
I was going to say, I'm not sure whether I was meant to be offended by that or not.
No, I'm being an asshole. I'm annoyed that you don't know, but I don't tell you. It's absurd. Fae don't lie. Full-blooded Fae don't lie. Not ever.
Who told you that?
We all are. It's damn near difficult for me to lie.
But
It's
you
a,
can.
I'm half. The mortal of me can lie. The Fae in me really finds it difficult.
But that. Okay.
Lying to a fairy is sort of like not being a bird and trying to fly. It's just not possible without being severely convoluted.
I see.
Lies of omission don't count. Now, how can I put this? They do not speak untrue, but only men lie. That is the quote.
Okay.
And they keep promises. one of the main ways you interact with fairies. That you know they're being honest, and if they make a promise, they'll keep it. To the letter, not the spirit.
Well, what we can do is see what happens when we get there.
I know, but like I said, I was being an arsehole, and I felt like I had to tell you, teach you, show you, whichever.
I appreciate you showing and sharing your experience. I will not opinions and people's views not just be changed.
I know.
Not
It's
simply,
kind
not
of
just by displaying. You can't just show somebody a picture and change their worldview. It doesn't work that way. And while you showed me this with your jar, and as I said, I'm a little bit more open-minded,
this.
but my father will be
Fiona,
a lot more difficult to convince.
I understand that. And to be honest, the world as it is now confuses and amazes me. I'm from a little long ago. Most Fae are. I miss the old days. I miss home.
Why don't you go back?
Because I have unfinished business here.
Well, I'm not going to ask any more questions. You obviously shared quite enough as it is. I'm going to go and sit down and think about what I'm going to say to Laura when I finally see her when we get back. And also now I'm going to address my father and how on earth I'm going to have to beg for forgiveness from Leora's father,
If you
let alone
could,
her aunt.
the jar. I know it'll come in handy again.
Yes, certainly. Yeah. She hands you back the jar.
I'm
Carry on.
simultaneously. I'm glad I told you. And I'm simultaneously sorry that you know.
I won't share unless it becomes a problem.
Things are complicated.
Proven to me at least that you protected me.
You're a guest. We've travelled together. Of course I would.
I get to River Point, you'll be my guest.
Yes.
Because my people will return the same hospitality you've extended to me. As long as you and Luck keep your natures to yourselves. Knick-knack. Well,
I
this
think
is
that's
pretty
why me and
evident.
Luck sort of get on.
What do you mean?
Both people hiding our natures.
Luck hasn't been doing a very good job of hiding hers so far, so let's hope she learns on how to do that better.
Bloody hell.
Right.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm going to go and retire for the evening.
Beeping. Why is it beeping?
Discord.
It's called.
Pete and John are chatting.
Yeah.
Or scheming.
Yeah.
Both.
It's Pete and John, so yeah, both.
We're always scheming.
That's a good point.
You and I the worst.
Yeah.
To be frank, if our character from Animals Are Call were seeing us right now, they would be absolutely terrified.
The
My character-
rumbling from below can be heard as
Sorry, Luke.
no, it's all right. As the large wheels slosh and push their way through thick mud and tumble over large rock and boulder. It's a weird sensation. It's not quite like traveling at sea where the rocking side to side is almost like a motion. It's a bit jolting and there's no rhythm. It happens and it doesn't happen, and you'll be swung to one side and then leading to the other, and then there'll be moments of calm and then sudden jolts. There's no rhythm.
So it's not good place for tinkering.
It's disjarring and turbulent.
Yeah, so doing little fine work, probably not the best plan. So Nick Nack will be like sort of drawing in his book and coming up with plans and schematics for things. And every time there's a sort of random jolt, he'll like sort of scribble across a page and there'll be some little goblin swearing.
And as you look around yourself, you've got a large kind of fancy wooden door with a window that is opaque and dark. Like there's a pane of glass, like you were meant to be able to look through into the carriage beyond, but the glass is dark. You can't see further into the next compartment. And the same with the intricate door but behind you as well. That moves on to the next compartment, just like a tree. And you find yourself in this room with windback chairs and desks, like a luxurious train cart that it is. And yeah, you are in this space. What are we doing, folks?
He's trying to survive, probably Knick-Knack trying to tinker, and just possibly the anxiety that Ellie might be doing something stupid.
Their logic is what they said. Don't acknowledge to stop calling her stupid and start teaching them.
So I will start doing things, and like the second or third time I get sort of jolted and sort of draw a random line across the page, I'm actually going to get annoyed, and then I'm going to go over this room with like literally a fine tooth comb, because they've had lots of things where he's like tapped on places and things like that. So I'm looking
Yes.
for those. I'm looking for controls.
You're looking for all the little nooks and crannies. The first thing that
He's
you
trying to
know,
find the minibar.
well, this is the thing. The first thing that you encountered that is quite clearly there is the typewriter. With no paper in it, but just a typewriter with all the keys.
I'm not sure that would really interest Nick Nag.
You mean
Do
you
you
would
know-
just go and just see what
Well,
happens?
I probably would, and sort of go, oh, okay, they're letters. Okay, and let's see what else I can find.
Okay. Make me a investigation check.
An investigation check, you say? A knick-knack investigation. Why do I? So this is the thing that knick-knack is supposed to be good at, and I roll absolute 13.
That's a good point.
13.
You're supposed to be
Not
good at it.
helping you on this one.
It's like it's literally his best skill out of all of them, and yeah.
Plus 11. Rolled a 2.
13. You look at upon the wall. It's like a a more elaborate sconce, and it's got like, you know how in like the 1970s and 60s you had the gas fires in old houses where you like and you've got your own little gas fire essentially. Instead of a fireplace, you had your little grilled gas fire that would warm up your
Yeah.
living room.
I've had to fix a couple of them.
Exactly. So this is similar to that, but it's like an iron ornate kind of sconce, but grilled on the wall for kind of warming. And while the mechanics of it intrigued you to begin with, because this is flame that is controlled by pressurized gas, and you've played around with similar creations before yourself. This seems to have knobs and switches on it which don't seem to have any relevance to its design, and you're trying to figure out what on earth they could potentially be for. And there's two particular buttons on the bottom front of it that are piquing your curiosity.
I'll press the left one first.
Nothing happens.
Press the right one.
Nothing happens.
Press them both together.
As you press them both together, a little wooden shelf pops down from below the heating sconce. And there's like a little shelf. And on this little shelf is a beautiful red and orange feather that's tipped like a quill.
I mean, you didn't get anything cool. Myself, trouble.
I'll have a look at it. What spells have I got loaded at the moment? Do I have? I do. I will spend some time looking at it with my little jeweler's goggles, and I will spend 11 minutes casting Identify.
This is a phoenix feather. More specifically, a phoenix feather quill. It's long and bright orange, seemingly taken from the tail of a phoenix, and it shimmers with golden streaks. And it can be used to write scrolls. However, there seems to be some kind of will about it.
Well,
A will. It's not fully sentient, but it has purpose.
I'm going to effectively hold it over a blank page of my thingy and as hard as I can try and clear my mind, which for Knick-Knack is probably going to be nigh on impossible. So I'm quite happy to make a whiz save or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to sort of see if it wants to write a message.
Doesn't write anything.
Okay. Then I might write hello and see if it has any.
Can you make me a straight charisma check, please?
A straight charisma check. A 12.
As you lower the tip of the quill to the parchment, you do a straight line down, and as you try to bring it back up to do the curvature of the H, it's like the quill is fighting you in your fingers. and you have to pull it up away from the parchment. You can't complete the letter, yet alone the word.
Um, I'm going to sort of try and draw a question mark then.
Make me a straight charisma check.
That one's better. 19.
You pick it up once again. You take a moment. You clear your mind in a way that Knick-Knack thinks he is. you-
I just have visions of, the mental equivalent of getting the table and just doing that.
You dip the quill in some milk and you write a question.
And then
A
I'll
question
do.
mark on a piece of parchment.
What, sorry?
And you have written a question mark on a piece of parchment.
But then I'm gonna leave the pen hanging over the pen to see if it wants to write anything.
Quill just lays there.
Okay. You are there, Luck, aren't you? Aren't we in the same room while Ellie went off with Fiona?
Yeah, you're all in the same room.
I'm in the same room. So is our host looking at Knick-Knack?
Our host has left the room.
Okay. Luck is looking at Knick-Knack with trying not to attract attention or anything. Like, Knick-Knack,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I'm trying out the pen. It doesn't want to write stuff. It doesn't like H's, but it doesn't mind question marks.
May I see?
I will pass over the feather.
She examined the feather.
As described before, a orange phoenix tail feather.
Is it a real one? Is it a real phoenix feather?
Knick-Knack has identified it. Appears to be that of a phoenix feather.
Yeah, but I don't know that. He knows that.
You haven't identified it. You don't know what it is.
No.
Make me a nature check.
Okay.
It's not fully smart, but it's slightly smart.
That's a 11, so I doubt I have.
You haven't got a clue what this feather is from.
She's going to try to write with it.
Make me a straight charisma check.
Okay. That's 17.
Okay. What do you want to write? Right.
She's going to write in Celestial, moon and sun.
You do. Balance Nick. You write on parchment. Sun.
Seems to work perfectly fine.
Have you ever written an H, have you?
I may try with an H. She's going to write an H.
Make me a charisma check.
Yeah.
Straight charisma check.
Fuck! That's a 7.
See?
It
Doesn't
doesn't
like
like
H's.
And you again, you physically, as the tip of the quill touches the parchment, you can't. You're fighting against the quill, and the quill. You just have to let go, and it just.
Okay, I'm going to hold on to that feeling, but instead of letting go, I'm going to let the quill write, do whatever it wants.
Stops.
It
Doesn't
just
do-
it just argues. It doesn't have an opinion. It's just
It's
a
only slightly
contrarian.
smart. It just isn't. It's not fully smart.
Make me an intelligence check. Straight intelligence check. Knick-Knack and Luck.
Can I give him advantage?
No.
'Cause-
No,
oh,
because you're both independently thinking about this. Can't give somebody advantage on their thoughts.
Dirty 20.
That's a 9 for me. That was
Okay,
a 17
knick-knack.
that cocked. Mm.
You sit there and think that it's not that it wants to write something else. It's that you're not writing to write.
It's that I'm not writing what it wants me to write. I'm writing the wrong thing.
Like it's as if there's something specific that it likes to write, and you're not writing, and you're having to almost persuade it every time you pick it up to write something. It's almost as if you're having to persuade it to write what you want to write. It wants you to write.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and write.
Giving it back to you.
And so Knick-Knack's been sort of thinking about Master Ileron, and he's been thinking about how luck does her thing, and he's been thinking about druids, and then there's like the divine things, and he's like trying to work out how we all do magic stuff. And he's gonna try and as sort of jumbled as his thoughts are on the matter at the moment, he's gonna try and write down, aspects of magic, because he's watched Luck cast like shocking grasp and how
What
she
kind of
does it.
spell is a shocking grasp?
It's
An evocation spell.
I would assume so. It is, well, it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an evocation cantrip.
Okay.
So he's watched Luck cast the same thing that he does with his little wind-up mitten type things, and he's trying to work out quite what's happening between the two, because the end effect is the same, but the origination is different, and he's trying to link them together.
When you cast Identify,
Yes.
you found out this was a quill that allows the user to write scrolls.
Yes.
What kind of magic user writes their spells?
That would be like Master Ileron would do that sort of stuff, so he would love it.
Exactly. So this quill writes scrolls. Only writes what it wants to write. Right.
Master Ileron was a transmuter. I'm going to try and write Knick-Knack's concept of the creeping touch spell, which is a transmutation.
Make me a charisma check.
A charisma check.
Straight charisma check.
9.
You start to begin to write the beginnings of an arcane equation. And the first few symbols and kits go down. But as soon as you start to get into the finer details of what manifests the specific spell,
Is it because it's not a fire spell? Because Phoenix is like fire stuff. Um,
Are you asking me out loud?
yeah. I'm sort of Dick Nacky's sort of
I don't
spitballing
think he
to
has
you
an
guys.
internal monologue. I
Yeah.
think it's just
Well, he
external.
does. It just runs at like 1,000 miles per hour in multiple
And it
directions,
comes out of his mouth.
and
for
some of
everyone
it
to
comes
hear.
out of his mouth because
Knick-knack.
yeah.
You mean this is writing for spells, right?
So it wants to be. It likes to write scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
but so I don't really know. So I sort of know what Master Ileron does, but I don't have a spell book or anything like that. So um, I can't quite, I've seen him writing his, and some of it made sense.
If
Um,
I were to give you, I I was taught differently, obviously, but if I were to give you the schematics of Firebolt, could you write them down?
uh, I can give it a try.
And Lug is going to give him like translate it because she's learning in Celestial. She's going to translate it to common for
Okay.
him.
I'm going to need you both to make a check here.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
effectively trying to write down the equation for him so he can copy it.
Because neither of you, Knick-knack has a level of wizard. Like, you're not a wizard. Your magic doesn't come from scripture and arcane study and equations. Your magic comes from sheer will.
I mean,
Something inside
that would be more
of you.
paladin.
Something inside of you
Hmm.
that responds to your will. I need you to make me an Arcana check. See whether you're able to touch upon the right element to point Knick-knack in the right direction.
18.
18. Okay. Knick-knack,
Yeah.
can you make me a history check?
Okay. Not an 80. I rolled a 4, so 9.
You remember basic equations of arcanic nature. Combined with the arcana, like the magical knowledge of luck based on her experience, can you make me a charisma check?
I'm getting worse at this. 6.
You feel like you're on the cusp of something. Missing. Very important. Will resists you.
It didn't work.
No, I don't. I thought it would like fire because, it's a phoenix and things, and aren't they like fiery birds?
Phoenix. I mean, produce flame could be another spell.
Um,
Learned it long ago, though, and to be honest, I don't quite remember it quite well.
Oh well, it was fun. I'll put it back on its little shelf.
Oh. Maybe she turns her back. I'm not looking, Knick-knack. What I don't see cannot hurt me.
That's not exactly true because, like, if someone snuck up behind you and like stabbed
Knick-knack,
you,
if you want something, I do not see you to take it, or I am not looking at you.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything.
He just puts it back and
Yeah, Nick Nack's going to press the button.
yeah.
So you put the quill back. Okay. Put the quill back on its shelf. Press the buttons.
You didn't
Quill
want
back.
you didn't want the quill.
You didn't see that. You were looking the other way.
You think he's got the quill.
I mean,
You didn't see it. In your way.
I can just imagine 2 weeks from now. You got that quilt? No. What?
It's almost as good as Elaine. Like, so where is he buried? I don't know. I thought you knew.
That was brilliant, to be fair.
Yeah.
I love that moment.
I really tried not to give it away. I was just like,
I knew what was going
Fuck!
to happen. I knew what was going to happen. I absolutely knew it was going to happen, but I wanted it to. I was just sitting there, just like, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get here, and he's just gonna be like, I don't fucking know.
I thought you knew. I thought it was my job to dig.
Len didn't know.
eh.
Right. So yes, you're in this cart, folks, trundling along.
Ellie comes back.
Oh, you're back. Everything okay?
Yes, I told her what she needed to know.
She looks at Fiona, trying to see if.
Fiona's not with me. I
Oh,
left Fiona. I gave Fiona a mental breakdown, and then she went, "Give me a minute, would you?" And I left and came back this way.
is it going to be fine?
Yeah, I told her enough.
You think the Nixes are going to be okay, though?
Get the iron out of the water, yes. If not, they're going to get very angry and probably kill people.
Well, like, I was wondering about that because you said it's like cold iron, not like normal iron, right?
There's something about it. I'm not entirely sure the entire process. Some of it
Some-
works, some of it
But
doesn't.
like, so I'm proficient in Smith's tools, Luke. So would I actually have some sort of understanding of iron and cold iron and the properties and the difficulties of utilizing said things?
Know about iron, and you know that you don't understand why somebody wouldn't forge it.
Yeah, because it gets better and stronger and you can make
Yeah.
steel and things.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
So, like, I'm wondering if it's done on purpose and Fiona's dad or maybe someone else involved in this whole, like, electricery stuff is, like, trying to poison all the Fae.
Yeah, it's something like that's what I was thinking. The more I think
I'm
about it, the
hoping
more
not.
I think this is intentional.
Personally, I don't know. I'd rather not make assumptions.
Well,
Because if I
like,
make the assumption, I'm going to get very angry.
well, because the reason I'm thinking this is because, like, cold iron's probably going to rust quicker than, like, forged iron and definitely quicker than steel. So, actually, for materials for, like, making stuff that's going to be in a water wheel, it's probably a bit crap.
I don't know a lot about metals, Knick-Knack.
I do.
I think you're
If I put
trying
my
to
hand near
meant.
it and it hurts, I know it's cold iron. That's pretty much it.
I think I'm trying to understand here. You think someone is dumping?
Well, it's a good way of, like, contaminating the water without really, like, hurting
people.
other people, but, like, the little Nixie people are going to get poisoned.
So there is a hunter in town.
Well, the other one is it's
Or
probably
just somebody
not
who knows
coming
enough
from.
about fairies.
It's probably not coming
It's
from
going to be
River
a
Point.
hunter.
It's probably coming from the ones up at High Point because they're all upstream, and they've got a lot more at High Point than the two at River Point.
True.
The Nixies mentioned River Point, though.
Well, I'm assuming that because it's proximity, it's going to be closer, therefore probably more potent. But if there's more of them in High Point, it will come down more. It will just contaminate the river below it.
I think I just need to go there and talk to the river. To be perfectly
Well, I
honest.
mean, it's like so. Like if you have a stream, right,
Yes.
and you pee in the stream, and then
Yeah,
you
you
drink it
don't.
down water, it's still a
You're
little bit
drinking.
pee.
Yeah, you always drink from water from where you go to the toilet. Even I know that one.
But it's like so that's gone down. So it's a little bit there. Um, but the more people that pee in the water, the more pee it goes down. And they're trying to put more and more of this stuff in there.
I
Unless
think
there's a
So,
reason.
I think we
we're
should just talk to the nixies of the river at River Point.
indeed. But what does bother me? Why? These people know, if these people know about Nixies and they still
They don't
poison
seem
them.
to.
No, but that's the thing. Someone knows. Someone knows and goes through all of this trouble to get rid of the Nixies. However, if they know
Unless
about the
there's something bigger.
Nixies, yes, exactly. They know the Nixies might be, they are part of the river, and the river might die if the Nixies die.
Yeah. The river
Why?
won't be as good.
No, and that's the thing. If it's not good, who would want to live there? Who benefits from this?
Why is the river gonna die because the Nixies go?
Because they're part of the
How
river.
can I put this? Knick-knack, you know if you kill all the wolves?
Oh, kill all the what?
Wolves.
Wolf.
Okay, yeah.
The deer population overloads. They kill all the farm animals. They do a lot more damage to the local forest because there's a lot more of them that the forest can normally contain. If you remove something from an ecosystem, the ecosystem doesn't tend to do very well. Even without the magic of the nixies, it's still something you shouldn't do.
Okay.
They're part of the ecosystem. I make a Jenga tower. Yeah.
Don't get very far before the
Jolts.
jolts knock it
Yeah.
and it starts going.
I'm effectively trying to somebody who's proficient in nature. I'm trying to effectively explain ecosystems to somebody who might not be.
Knick-knack is not proficient in nature.
Okay. Knick-knack, see it this way. You have your workshop. Okay?
Yeah.
And in this workshop, you have everything that you need to be able to work.
Now get rid of hammers. Gets significantly more irritating.
Not get rid of hammers. Get rid of the material to make hammers. It's going to be very, very difficult, one, to get more hammers if one breaks.
Even without the magic of nixies, getting something out of an ecosystem it's required for it to function properly.
He doesn't know what an ecosystem is.
Okay. It's a balancing act. All of it is.
So are you like saying that like so like in the wagon here, like when I was underneath and I like moved that cogs a bit so like they couldn't break.
Yeah.
If I'd have taken that cog away, then they'd never move anywhere.
Yeah, that's getting rid of nixies.
It still would be here, but it wouldn't do anything useful anymore. It wouldn't be working anymore.
I'm effectively trying to explain a phase definition of nature to a goblin, and I'm realizing that right now.
But like, I'm sure that there are cogs in here that I could take away and it would still work fine.
Yes, like mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are generally pointless.
Wasps are bastards.
Wasps usually pollinate.
Yeah, but they're a bit bastards because they eat bees.
They are. I do like bees.
Bees are nice. They're very pretty and very fluffy.
Fuck wasps.
Not,
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Fuck wasps!
Jack says fuck wasps. Faye's religious nature against nature says don't get rid of wasps. Jack says fuck wasps. We have a different opinion.
But yeah, I'm sure that there are cogs in here that I could take away and it would still work fine.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be essential cogs, and that's the problem. The
But then
nixies,
how do you know that nixies are essential cogs or non-essential cogs?
Because damn near every river has them.
essentially.
So because there's lots of them, it means they're needed.
Well,
But isn't that so was there a fishy wolf that ate nixies and someone got rid of all of them? So are they your deer that are doing too much damage?
well, yes, there are bigger things than nixies.
No.
No,
But in your
if-
thing, you said if I kill all the wolves, then the deers get too many and they cause lots of damage. If there's too many nixies, are they not the deers and we've got rid of the wolves? We got rid of the fish wolves that eat the nixies.
That's not how it works, I'm afraid.
Actually,
this
there
situation-
are things that eat nixies.
Essentially. But
Bigger
then again-
fish.
Yeah.
you have that.
Yeah.
But
And then the
getting
nixies tend to
rid-
come together and stab them because, well, bigger fish are annoying.
Look, see it this way. If you take the example of the deers and the wolf, if you
Yeah.
get rid only of the deers, the wolves will get hungry. And if they get hungry, they're going to travel closer to civilization and feed directly on civilization.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing.
Civilization should be in tandem, but sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just if there's lots of nixies everywhere in all the rivers, have we already like killed all the fish wolves that eat the nixies?
No,
is what I'm wondering.
not as far as I know. They're sort of
Have we
part
already
of it.
like tilted the balance in their favor?
Nixies are like dryads.
Do you know
Do you know what a dryad is?
Do I know what a dryad is? What's the knowledge of Fae things going to be under?
Make a nature check.
Oh boy.
$23.
You've heard of dryads before. You probably know a bit more about dryads than Luck does, to be honest. Or
Okay, yeah. So they're like the like the spirits of the trees in the forest and things. Yeah.
Nixies are water dryads.
Okay. But you can have a tree that's not a dryad.
No, they have to be over a certain age.
But what I mean is,
An oak tree over 100 usually.
knick-knack.
like, if I have a tree and it's not a dryad, and like, could I then not have a river that's not a nixie?
I mean, yes, but they tend to be new
Knick-knack.
ones.
With your 23,
Yeah.
when you were a young goblin, I mean, how old are you now? 9? I don't know.
Goblins don't live very long. I
No, they
remember
don't.
that.
When you were a young goblin, you remember a fairy tale. A tale told about powerful fae and their bindings and the rules of fae and their separation from this plane. And part of this story lingered with you that if a fae spirit, especially one of the lesser fae, were to fall in love with a mortal, and this was to be discovered, higher fae and more powerful fae would sometimes punish these lesser spirits by binding them to trees the mortal realm. And from these trees, these creatures called dryads would emerge. And they'd be bound to that tree. And they could travel the lands around it, but that tree would forever be their home. And they would be stuck there essentially forever unless their tree was destroyed. If their tree is burned,
So I'm not sure
they would die. That's what you know about dryads. They're punished fey spirits.
I'm not sure. So, like, dryads are like kind of, they're like prisoners, like the big fey, like send off the
Yes.
ones that love people and like stick them in a tree, and that's what they meant. So, like, Nixie's like river prisoners.
They're symbiotic, similar. I meant the symbiosis, not the prison.
Another thing you know is that dryads, if their tree was to be destroyed, they would literally go mad.
They go fucking balmy.
They would go insane.
Until they can get a new tree.
But
which is difficult.
So are you saying that if Nixies are like the dryads and they're in prison and their tree gets chopped down and they go mad and like
they take care of the river, because without the river they're like dryads without trees.
Their river is their tree.
The river is the tree.
Yeah. Okay. So is there any way of like...
That's why I say to Fiona, make friends with the Nixies, because imagine if the river was on your side.
Well, no, what I was meaning is, like, is there any way of, like, unprisoning them so they're, like, free and can go home?
They're home. They're already home.
No, they're not. They're in prison.
How can I put this? Yes, dryads are prisoners in their tree, but also dryads breed. And their daughters are also dryads.
But isn't that like sort of a mum having a baby in prison and the baby being in prison too?
They need the trees to survive, from what I understand.
That's why mixing with Fae is so damn complicated.
They didn't originally. They got put in there when they were bad and they fell in love with like not Fae people.
Yes.
And the big Fae went, that's not good enough, and cram them into trees.
Because Fae... We're not oh God, Lord, this is going to get me into so much trouble. We're not really supposed to mix very often.
I mean...
And not in that way. In the... Oh, how can I put this kindly?
Don't be kind. I think that's the best way you can
in the
do it.
Physical...
You mean sex?
Yes.
That's not how I heard. It's like sort of when the Fae ones fell in love with like mortal people, then the big Fae like...
What? Okay, if a mummy and a daddy fall in love, what happens?
I'm pretty sure no one has ever had the Birds and the Beast chat with me.
Okay, Jack is ace and as such is very uncomfortable with the topic.
Nick Nat thinks goblins just crawl out of muddy holes in the ground.
Okay, Jack is incredibly uncomfortable with the topic of that particular part of adults.
Do you want me to do it? Because Luck doesn't care.
This conversation doesn't need to happen. Are we literally talking
about
that's
what I mean.
Is this necessary?
That's what I mean. I'm like, this isn't necessary, but I'm effectively trying to say, no, not all dryads are prisoners. Sometimes a dryad meets a dude, and then there's just more dryads. The biological process occurs.
Luck will assist, okay? Let's just say it like that.
Luck, make me a persuasion check.
Why? Why persuasion?
Just make me a persuasion check.
How well can you explain? I just didn't want to have to RP it.
Apparently very well. There was a
I just didn't
natural
want to have to RP
19 for 26.
Knick-knack.
Yes.
Make me a insight check.
Medicine?
I can just imagine him going, "Fuck off! No, that can't be how that works."
All right, make a medicine check.
Oh
To be
God.
honest, it's the same roll either way. -1 or -1. 11.
Oh well.
Over the next 25 minutes, Luck painstakingly and specifically tries to eloquently give you the birds and the bees lecture.
It's not eloquent because she knows that she is sick as a brick, so she's going to speak very plainly and very crudely. That's really demanding for someone of a quote-unquote stature.
And while Knick-Knack manages to get to grips with the basics, the fundamentals of how that even works,
especially when you mix different species.
That's exactly where Knick-Knack's going. He's like, so how does that work with like sort of, you know?
So while Knick-Knack understands the physical act, he now understands that causes that. He doesn't understand why it causes it.
Well, no, because nobody understands
it just happens
in this universe.
Yeah, it just happens. So he's kind of got half of the picture. He understands a little bit more than he used to.
Effectively, part of the conversation is, if all dryads are female, how do they get more dryads?
Anyway, how did we get here, guys? I've just let you talk and RP, and we've gotten into trying to teach Knick-Knack what fucking sex is. Right,
Look,
okay.
If Elliot is going to watch this episode,
but
he's going to be laughing his ass off.
It makes sense. Because he's like, well, how do you get more dryads? And I'm like, the biological way. Oh, God, you don't know that, do you? Fuck. I am going to have to shout at Elrond. He didn't teach you the right things. How on earth did you live on a docks and you do not know this?
Well, to be fair, Ellie, my parents didn't teach me, quote unquote.
You lived on a docks. That's where that happens.
I live in a high society. You're supposed to have the best education, and those kind of things are just not exactly said. You have to learn.
Homeschooled.
Yeah.
No, but the Ellie's point of Brian is you lived where prostitutes also live.
Ellie,
how did no one mention this?
Ellie, calm down.
No, this is Jack getting a little bit upset.
Okay.
Well, Knick-Knack's age is a question mark.
That's a good point.
Knick-Knack was Look, Knick-Knack's curiosity takes him where he wants. If he's not curious in that, he's not going to be interested in that.
Completely okay. I still think that you should understand this, because otherwise you're going to end up with more Knick-Knacks.
Not necessarily. No, not if he's not interested in that at all. He wouldn't. But anyway.
No, but if you're just being curious without knowledge, you end up with more Knick-Knacks.
Not that kind of curiosity. Knick-Knack has curiosity in how things work and like clocks. If he's too busy playing with clocks, he's not playing with cocks. There's a big difference.
He's aromatic.
I mean, so am I. I still know. Somebody had to sit me down and be like, "This is how it works," and I'll be like, "Okay, strange. Fuck, never doing that."
Yeah, curiosity for me and you, but yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, please.
Moving on.
Sorry.
You are on a train.
This is my fault.
You are on,
and I'm sorry.
You are on the Tinker train. You have sat in this one carriage and pressed some buttons and had some chats. Are we doing anything else while we're on the Tinker train? Are we going in any of the other compartments? Are we staying here and having a long rest?
I mean,
we had a long rest not too long ago.
Effectively, this is a downtime between all of us until Luke decides we're done.
Yeah. I think Luck is just going to try to see if she can get somewhere private to pray.
Okay. You have a door that goes in front of you in the same direction that the tabaxi went, and there is a door that goes behind you.
She's going to go behind.
Okay. You go behind.
Where's Fiona?
Fiona's
Having
still
a
in the same
breakdown.
room, literally sitting there listening to you talking about the birds and the bees to fucking Nick.
Okay. I thought she
Um,
was in the other. Okay.
No, she didn't. No, she hasn't gone anywhere. It's a long carriage. She's a few rows behind, sat on a wing-back chair to herself. Um,
Just checking on her as she passed by. You okay?
I'm all right. Heard some things I never want to hear again, but yeah, I'm all right.
Sorry. I'm going to cleanse my soul a little bit. I just need somewhere to pray.
They are quite literally getting married soon.
Dad! Girls! I'm not going to explain scissors to a goblin!
That's a good point. That is a different mechanics.
Yes!
Scissors Nick would understand.
I'm going to explain scissors to someone else.
Anyway,
This is starting to get like Mondays, and I need to have a moment.
oh dear.
Oh,
Luck,
Yeah.
you open the door,
Mm.
and
My
there is
head's
a
hurting.
corridor,
Yeah.
like a train carriage, and either side there are sliding doors with other opaque dark glass
Mhm.
panes to other compartments.
Okay.
And there is a long aisle along this train cart, and at the very end there's another door.
Okay.
There are
Do
a
I-
few sliding doors either side.
Do I hear noise, people talking, or plates with names? Or just something to indicate where am I?
You don't
And-
hear any voices, no.
Okay. And it's not written anywhere what is where and where. Okay. She's just going to peek and like she opens the first door.
You open the first door, and there is a smaller compartment with a kind of. It's like a small living room. There is a long chaise lounge next to a large picture that is hung upon the wall of a beautiful countryside landscape. And above the chaise lounge, there is a mirror on the ceiling.
Hmm.
There is a wardrobe. There is a basin for washing. And there is another small sofa.
No. Okay. Seeing that she's going to open the door after, see if it's the same thing.
You open the next door.
Hmm.
This room, you see a workshop. Small.
Okay.
A little bit bigger than the other compartments on the previous side with the chaise lounge and the sofa and the wash basin. In this room, you see nuts and bolts and a workshop with all sorts of different tools hung up all over the walls. You see chests filled with rags and flasks of oil. You assume this room to be where Gorath does his tinkering and
Yeah.
does his bits and pieces to keep the train going.
Okay. Well, she's going to peek inside the other rooms, see what is
Okay.
where.
You peek inside another sliding door. As you open this door, there is a corridor. A long corridor. Very long corridor. Too long.
Yeah.
And
She's
it
going.
keeps going
Yeah.
about 50 feet. And then there's a turning at the end.
She's not entering. She's just going to see the others, the other rooms and everything. See what's inside. She's not entering any of them right now.
Okay. You get to one that is locked.
Okay.
Sorry, you carrying along this corridor, or are you going back into the main?
No, I'm in the main.
In the main. So you close that door to that corridor, you carry on, you go to the next door, it's locked.
Going to the next then.
And then you go to the next one. This is the last one in this compartment. You open this one. And you go into this room, and it's essentially like a nice paneled room. And on the right-hand side, there is a desk. Like built in to the paneling of the wall. It juts out, and on this desk, there is a large brass-like circle with dials on it that look almost like a compass.
Okay. And what about
on the walls surrounding, you see all sorts of different maps. Some you recognize, some you don't.
Is there a map of the celestial cities?
There is not.
She's going to go to the door that is at the end of the corridor, or the main corridor.
You get to the end of the corridor. You go to the door. You open the door, and you see a horse. And you see Nazum in a large chamber. This doesn't seem as well presented. It's a large, dark chamber. There is bales of hay. It almost feels like the inside of a very dark stables, and you feel like the soundproofing is much thinner here, and you can hear the wheels turning below. You can feel the noise of the train going along.
Okay. Gonna give a
And you
cuddle
see
to
Nazum kind of perched on the horse, still kind of inert, and Vines kind of arms kind of kept to his side like this, and Vines just stretched out like he's in this inert kind of cocoon-like state.
She's going to get him off the horse because the horse might be uncomfortable right now with all the weights and everything.
Take Nazum off the horse and you put him down to the side.
Like put the equipment away from the horse, like trying to make it feel a little better. She's going to give it a cuddle, and she's going to continue to explore until she can find a room that is adequate enough for her to pray.
You've checked all the rooms so far that you can check. There are no other rooms to check. This seems to be at the very back end. And then there's the doors that you have tried back in the other cart.
Yeah, I'm going to try the door again with the too long corridor, because that intrigues me.
All right. You go down the corridor. Get to the corner. You turn the corner. Another long corridor. Another corner at the end. Turn the corner. Another long corridor. Keeps going. 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 How long do you walk?
about 5 minutes, and after that, she's just going to turn around.
Turn around and you walk back.
When can you
About
not
5
answer
minutes goes
absolutely?
by. You start to worry that, have you gotten yourself turned around? Have you, and then you take one more corner and you see the door back into the main compartment. There's almost a little sigh of relief.
Right. Well, she's going to make her way back, like past everyone again, like hi again, and go to the front door.
Okay.
Luke, like this
Yes.
thing from the outside,
Mhm.
I may have got the description wrong because I thought it was just sort of quite a big wagon. Is it
It's long.
TARDIS-esque? How long?
It's probably. So you've got the compartment that Luck was just in with the horse and the zoom. That's essentially a compartment of its own. There's another compartment that she was just in, trying all the different doors. There's the compartment you're currently in,
It's
and then
literally a train.
there's another compartment ahead of you. So
So it is a road train type thing.
yeah, there's like 3 long, like a very, very large, long RV, but with interconnecting compartments. It is like a road train. Yeah.
Bendy bus plus.
Yeah. As
I
in
think
like monster
Knick-Knack's-
truck style.
I think Knick-Knack's question is it bigger on the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Is it a TARDIS?
The compartment that you are in, no.
but we've been in several
Yeah. And
without
they're all
really changing place. Because he did one and it
think it's
kind of
just-
everything folded up and moved and switched and things. So
I think it's
Yep.
just
I
that
think
one
we're still in
compartment
the
that's
same compartment
weird.
and he's changed it around us.
yeah, they're like the top folded back little boxes and compartments
Yeah.
have come out of the walls and things like that, but nothing nothing
Um,
extra dimensional strikes you about the current compartment that you are in.
Because I'm very tempted to actually cast Identify on the wagon.
Okay.
Hmm.
To see what's affecting it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's fine. Let have a luck wander around first. But yeah, I was just trying to get it straight in my head.
That's all right.
I don't think any of this is straight.
But I certainly am not. So, look, a master race as a circle. Let me have this.
I didn't even mean that way.
Well. Anyway, going to the front.
Okay, so you open the front door.
Hmm?
This one is a wider corridor, longer. And there is, I think it's just a long carpeted red carpet that goes along a wooden sconces on the side, little green curtains, long corridor to another door at the end that links to a final carriage.
I mean, open the doors if there are any, and
There are no
Yeah.
doors in this particular compartment.
yeah, it's just going up, up.
You get to the end door, and as you get to it, it's locked.
Ah. Well, going back, and she's going to go back in the room where the workshop was.
The workshop.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way back down. Can you just make me a perception check?
Sure. If you ask me, it's because my passive doesn't take it.
What's your passive in? 22.
Yeah.
Okay. As you go into the compartment after your friends, you're in the corridor once again, and you go past the first door, which has the chaise longue and the painting and everything in. And as you walk by, you swear you could hear a noise. Something grumbling. Something like an animal.
Open again.
Inside the room as it was before. There's a basin with a smaller mirror. There's a small sofa. There's a long chaise longue with a large painting of a countryside above it. And then up on the ceiling, there's a mirror.
Is there like any traces of animal or anything?
Make me a nature or survival. Let's say nature. Make me a nature check.
Eh. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Oh god.
The chaise longue.
Hmm.
You look at the cushions on the chaise longue. You run your hands across them. They're soft, they're furry, they're fluffy. They feel warm.
I'm going to scratch it. Keep scratching the scratches.
You give it a scratch. The cart shakes again. Make me
Oh god.
an animal handling check.
Oh.
Wasn't a cushion.
17.
17.
That was almost a 2.
Ooh.
I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, as you're stroking these cushions, this fluffy, like furry kind of texture, you feel something wrap around your leg. And you look down, you see a long tongue. As you look further down at the chaise longue and you start to see eyes open up from the side. And you
That's a mimic.
see saliva dripping from the base of it. And you are confronted with a mimic.
Yeah.
Roll initiative, please.
No! God. I'm shit at initiative. Oh god, yeah. 8.
Okay. Just load up my mimic. 15. The mimic is going first. Right. So as its tongue wraps around your leg, it's going to attempt to grapple you with a 14.
And my AC is 10.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to make a shield if I can do that.
Okay, it is actually, sorry, I've just read, so I'm misreading. Okay, no, that would work, actually. Yep. Yep, no, that's fine. So you cast shield. As you see this tongue start to wrap its way around your ankle, your leg, just before it starts to tighten, you it kind of, the shield, instead of it being like a shield that you do that and it kind of creates, you kind of release it from your body, like there's a whole exoskeleton of energy just shimmers around your body and it whips the tongue back a bit. Yep, your turn.
I am going to disengage and
Okay.
back away and close the door.
Okay.
Nope.
You
Nope.
disengage, you go out the door, you close the door behind you,
Lock.
and you see the tabaxi standing in the corridor behind you.
Hello. I didn't know you had a mimic.
Oh, yes, I do.
Well,
Um,
I heard something growling. You will excuse me. I thought something might have crawled onto your wagon.
no, he's intentionally there. His name's Munchie.
Oh,
You never know when you get unwanted visitors,
Oh,
hijackers that want to
it's a pretty good
get
idea.
aboard. He's useful.
indeed.
They have a pet mimic. That's adorable.
Yeah. If you excuse me, I was looking for a room where perhaps I could pray.
Something a little bit more private. Well, Munchie, yes, you have to get on his good side. Right, further down
Try-
here, I believe.
I tried to give him a scritchies. Seems like he didn't like it.
Depending on where you scratch him.
Ah.
He's fussy that way.
Ah.
Yes, further down here.
Odin, turns out you're a mimic.
It takes you down the corridor to one of the locked doors. Takes out his finger. One of his claws extends. And he pops it in the lock and just turns. Here we go. This is one of my offices. You're more than welcome to use this. You see a luxurious office, not too dissimilar from the cart that your friends are already in, but a bit smaller. You see another desk with a typewriter on top of it, and this one is loaded with paper. There are sconces on the walls. There's like a small, dimly lit chandelier that hangs from the side. You see kind of 3 like little egg cup chairs in front of the desk. And yes, you're more than welcome to use this space. But before you go exploring the train again, I would recommend caution.
Listen, Known, I'm curious about the mimic. I do want to get on his good side. You said he has favorite spots for scritches.
Under the chin.
Oh.
Now find the chin.
Does he like something in particular? I do have jerky for me, but I'm not sure it's good for him.
I mean, he's a mimic, so anything edible would be fine with. Don't go empty-handed next time. And make sure your friends are aware of him. I wasn't expecting you all to go snooping so soon.
Well, no, we're just trying to get something a bit private. They can be a bit rowdy, and I like my calm sometimes.
From the other room, you can hear Ellie and Knick-Knack arguing about some fucking thing.
I would also like to mention, and I'm sure I shouldn't have to mention this, but no sticky fingers.
That you will have to see with Knick-Knack.
I do run a reputable business. If there's anything that takes your eye, then let me know. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
Sure. Thank you.
Is there anything else you might need?
No, I did put down the equipment on a horse. It might have been a bit too uncomfortable otherwise.
Oh, Gorath should have dealt with that, but I will remind him next time to look after all of our guests, not just those that have intelligence.
Horses are quite intelligent, to be fair.
True,
They're just
but
not the
ask them to
same.
make a cup of tea and they would fail entirely.
If you were to ask an elephant to go up a tree, he would fail also. Depending on the task, you just need the right people.
Exactly. That's why I have Gorath along with me for the ride. He's very good at maintaining this. I
Right.
make the money, he keeps the wheels turning. Now,
I also came across a very long corridor.
yes, well, even I tend to avoid that. It came with the place.
I see. Well,
Even I don't know all of its secrets.
that's intriguing.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
its first owner.
Oh. Well,
I've inherited it, you could say. And well, I'm still finding out new parts of it.
now I'm sure you make good use of them.
Try to. Now, if you find any more mimics, do let me know. I'm going to return to my quarters. I will leave you to it. And next time, please knock.
Let's check what it is. You want to pet the mimic?
No, not the mimic. I just kind of. I would be entirely okay if we spent the rest of the campaign on the carriage and just finds out all the cool shit.
Yeah. There's that.
I want to look in the medieval TARDIS. I kind of hate the fact that my character minds their own business right now.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, she's going to wait for the tabaxi to take his leave, and she's going to get out from her bag.
Kind of nods his head and walks off back down the corridor. Knick-knack, Ellie, you see the tabaxi come through the door that Luck just went through and go back through the door that you swore he went through earlier.
Yeah. So like,
yeah, Lucky just did this.
Your like
Let's
wagony
play it
thing, is it bigger on the inside?
Some parts of it, not all.
Okay. And you only have the two big like thingies pulling it.
They're kind of there for show. Don't tell anyone. Secret.
Okay. Because they probably eat a lot.
They do. Sometimes I let them in the back and let them rest while we carry on.
Okay.
It's mostly where we go to your more civilized areas where there's more watching eyes that I make sure they're out to the front. Don't want people knowing that they're aboard something special.
Very cool.
It is. I'm glad you approve. You're from Erendor, did you say?
Yeah. Well, I kind of turned up on a boat, but that's where I grew up.
That's where you grew up. Have you finished growing up? Forgive me, I don't know much about goblins. I don't know when the growth stops.
I've not got any taller for a while.
Okay. And for a while is a week? A year?
It's gotta be a couple. So like I did lots of stuff at the docks, and then Master Illaron found me, and well, he kind of tracked me down because he liked my gadgets. And then we've been all over the place. You get to go to lots of libraries, and they're very cool. I like books.
You should have a word with Gorath while you're on board. I'm sure he'd be happy to go through some of his tinkerings with you.
Okay, might want to take Fiona too, because she's good at this stuff too.
Be my guest. Just
Uh,
don't go making him jealous now. He gets rather competitive.
okay. I think I like collaborative better, where we make things better.
I'm sure he does too, as long as he gets some of the credit.
Okay. I'm going to see if Fiona wants to come and find Gorath and follow off after the tabaxi.
You go and find Fiona, and she's sitting there perching, like staring through the black glass, just at her own reflection, as it were. I'm all right, actually. I think I'll stay here for now.
Okay. But I'm not going to notice that she's upset. I wander off following the tabaxi.
Oh, you thought I was going to? No, no. Gorath is on the other side of the train. I'm going back to my quarters.
Oh, okay. So where's he?
Around the end, go to his workshop. There is an old-looking hammer hanging. Give it a few taps. He'll find you.
Okay. I'll wander out down the back of the train then.
Okay. Ellie, are we doing anything?
Ellie's knitting.
Ellie is knitting. Love that.
Just on a train, just like
Okay. Luck,
Yeah.
minding their own business.
you're perched in this office. What are you doing?
She's going to get out because, well, I assume Locke has small idols representing the sun and moon, the goddesses.
Mhm.
She's going to get them out of her bag, put them on the desk. Basically sit on the floor on her legs, so they're underneath her, and get out the black shard.
Okay.
She put it right before her, still touching it. She's going to close her eyes and turn her face towards the two symbols, and again praying for guidance, praying for parting ways, the lies. She's trying to find a way to destroy it, to make it entirely disappear.
Okay.
Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to do that. From her bag, she's also going to get out some offerings for them. So like maybe some apples, a bit of jerky, and dried fruits that she's going to offer to the goddesses.
Okay. Make me a religion check.
19.
You place the shard on the ground in front of you. You have your symbols either side. What where do you place the offerings?
Right before each of them. So like a bit of fruit on one side, a bit of fruit there. Like I'm trying to do something equal.
Okay. The fruit that you've put there, you've put some like dried peaches and some grapes, and you start to see them shrivel. Okay. Start to see them turn to mulch right there in front of the idols. Any candles that you've lit, any prayer candles start to flicker. The wood that everything is placed upon, where you've put the shard down, the wood starts to blacken, spread.
Lift it up, because I don't want to.
Before you do that, as the wood blackens and it spreads, goes round the idols, harming them and the wood that they stand on. Pick up the shard. As you pick up the shard, feel an overwhelming feeling. Of regret, of guilt. Kind of shake and drop it. You look around the room. The sconces burn bright. And your memory is cast back to teachings in chapel. While you were homeschooled, the only public education you really received was that from faith. That from faith. You learnt that not all evil, not all darkness requires destruction, but rehabilitation, cleansing, purification, a return to its natural form. It was uncorrupted. You open your eyes and you're holding the shard again. The wood has rescinded darkness back to its normal state. The fruit is fresh and ripe once again. The shard still remains black and cold.
So that was from them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's going to hold the shard, and she's going to hold it a little closer to herself. And she's going to try to think of every time that she has been happy, every contrary emotion that she has felt when having this vision, having the shard.
How long do you do this for?
Hmm?
How long do you do this for?
An hour.
Okay. You pour your positive emotion into this item of corruption. You are now attuned to this
Shit!
item.
Ah, shit!
As soon as you said how long and you went an hour, I was like, that's so gonna do
You
it.
done fucked it.
I didn't know.
I would have been like 59 and a half minutes.
You are now attuned to this item.
I set an alarm clock for 59 and I set an alarm clock for 59 minutes and 59 seconds.
And you do not wish to be unattuned from it. You do not wish to be parted from this item. You do not wish to dispose of this item.
Cleanse it. So,
You feel, and you open your eyes once again after pouring your memories into it. You feel a pull the opposite direction in which you are traveling. You feel a pull to the east. Knick-knack.
Yes.
shit.
Before we do anything, can we take like a couple of minutes?
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Oh gosh, blimey, I didn't realise the time. Sorry.
Time flies when you have fun.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll talk about the birds and the bees with.
Oh God.
This is going to follow you for a while. You know that. Just like the cheese incident.
Is that gonna be the title? Teaching Nick Nack the birds and the bees.
Goblin education.
Yeah.
Sex ed for goblins.
Oh god, this is gonna have to go on YouTube.
Sure, I'll be back in a sec.
I'm just going to go and make a drink. I'll be right back as well, guys.
Yeah. I didn't mean it. Oh god. I'm more careful that I didn't think there was an hour for attunement. Well, yeah. I forgot
It's
about
about
that.
an hour.
Yeah, well, I forgot about it. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I mean, Luck wouldn't have
Luck wanted
forget.
it.
No, she didn't want to attune it. Luck wouldn't have. Well, it's my fault. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back.
So how corrupted are you now?
What?
How corrupted are you now?
I don't know. I don't know. She doesn't intend to use it. That's the thing.
Well, cursed items don't need to be used. They just need to be worn
Or tuned?
Yeah,
or tuned.
you would know,
What do you mean?
don't you?
Well, yeah, I
Best
know.
items are some of the best items ever.
They
No.
really are. It's just learning how to mitigate the downside of them.
Get it down something. He almost turned evil.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
Not
you
at
did.
all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did.
No, I
Almost
didn't.
did.
No, I didn't.
All it takes is one unlucky roll, and you could have turned on us.
Not a roll at all. Well, yeah. And no, it doesn't work that way. But no,
How so?
it was about alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was true neutral. I was fine.
Mm. Yeah, but if you went evil,
Can I just point out that Brooke has had that thing and transported between planes 2 or 3 different times
I know.
while he's had it?
I know, and
It
I know
depend.
also that he might have switched alignment a couple of times.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, every time you move between planes.
Yeah, and I know also that he's playing you right now.
Hmm?
He's
Well,
playing you.
yeah, maybe.
No, he is.
Yeah, most likely. But Arden doesn't know that. Anyway,
You don't think Niall is smart enough to see something?
you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. Okay, I have to make a point because I know I don't play it like that, mainly because Nell plays stupid most of the time. Because people don't like when you are too smart. But she sees certain things. She could tell you exactly what's your reaction down to the creases that you have around your eyes about certain things.
Okay, but that requires insight checks.
Yeah.
Can't just know shit, because
No,
that's meta.
I know.
You have to do insight checks.
She's always observing you guys. Always.
That's fine.
Huh.
Doesn't mean she knows shit. She might have intuition
All
about that
sorts of
something's
things.
wrong, but she doesn't know what.
No, I know.
Sorry, I was getting a little lightheaded, so I've made myself
No,
something
that's
to
all right.
eat.
Not a problem, bud. Not a problem. Right.
Uh.
So, Knick-Knack,
Yes.
you are on the train.
And apparently there's a workshop down here, so I'm going to wander down a corridor opening doors.
You wander down a corridor opening doors. You get to the first door. You open the door,
There's a chaise lounge.
and there is a chaise lounge with a mirror above it, a large picture hanging on the wall of a lovely countryside. There is a basin and another small sofa.
That's not a chaise. That's not a workshop. So I will carry on.
Okay, you close the door. You go to the next room. The next room is a workshop.
Um,
You
I
open the door,
probably
and there
am.
seems to be a small, dimly lit workshop. Tools hanging all over the wall, chests of all sorts of accompaniments for tinkering, and a
I'm
big
probably
long
gonna
desk.
because I was told to look for the old hammer and ting it a couple of times. I'm probably going to try and work out which one that is, but have a look around first.
Okay.
If that so I know that's the hammer I'm probably supposed to ting, but I'm gonna have a little bit of a poke around first.
Okay, you're going to have a poke around. That is absolutely fine. Right. What are we poking around for?
Well, I think the first thing I'd be trying to see is if there were schematics for anything. Would be probably the first thing he'd have a look for. But if there's I kind of get the impression that this is the workshop garage where like everything has a space on a board and it's all like delineated
Yes,
around.
exactly like that. My mind's just
and
drawn an absolute blank. What's the name of the dwarf again?
it is Gorath.
Gorath. I don't know why my brain. I knew I had Ath in it. I had the G. I lost the in between bit for a moment then, and I was
You
going through my
invented
notes and I
him.
couldn't find him. I did invent him, and I still forget people. I've invented a lot of names and a lot of characters, and sometimes you forget some. Okay, it just happens, especially when you've got so many. Gorath.
Yeah, so like this is not how Knick-Knack's work space is in any way, shape, or form.
I can imagine yours is a lot messier.
Knick-Knacks is throw it against the wall and sees what sticks and what gives me inspiration, and then if I glue that bit on, I can suddenly get this.
Don't get me wrong, this space isn't tidy. There are nuts and bolts everywhere. There's oils, there's bits of work just strewn across this workbench. But
Is
there is
anyone a fan
elements of organization with tools,
Yeah.
as mentioned, and boxes and screws and like things have a place, but at the same time, where the work takes place, there is clutter.
Has anyone ever been a fan of Mythbusters?
Yeah,
Not really.
a little
Okay.
bit. Yeah, I've watched some of them.
Okay, I've been a thing with him. There's a man in it called Adam Savage, and he's got a YouTube video still to this day. And he's got a YouTube channel. He's the most ADHD maker I've ever seen, and his workshop is perfect. I love it.
I like Adam Savage.
No, but like he's got his own like little workshop, and he's got a YouTube channel called Tested nowadays.
All right, because it didn't Mythbusters finish.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he just films him doing random things, and
That's good.
that's most of the YouTube channel. And during the pandemic, he made Hellboy's pistol from scratch.
Of course he did.
And it's just that. That's his YouTube channel. It's 90% him going, I'm going to build a thing. And you just watch him build things. And it's brilliant. Sorry. It was,
No, it's all good.
it's basically what I would imagine Knickknack's workshop as. It's just, is that a Wookiee?
No.
Everything, everywhere, all over the
What
place.
I see Knickknack's workshop as is imagine at the back of a sort of a tradesman's van that has swerved around a corner far too fast.
Yeah.
That's what I see Knickknack.
So you're in this
Never
space.
mind.
You know, he knows there is a Phillips screwdriver in there somewhere.
So you're in this space.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
My
So
shed.
have a look for schematics or any kind of plans or sort of things first. And then I will probably look at whatever is like work in progress on the table to see if I can, oh, hang on, if I screw this bit on and that bit on, then that will be better.
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
An investigation check. I would love to make an investigation check. Oh, 22.
22. Okay. Strewn across this workbench, there is all sorts of components. And there's also jars of liquid. Some oil, some other types of liquid. And as you dip your fingers in and you smell and you lick and things like that, you're like, that's coolant. That they use that on this. And you start putting things together and start tightening the bolts. And you start to realize that this is essentially part of a cooling system. And you find parts that are damaged and broken, and you can see that essentially this particular part is a replacement part for a larger mechanical interface that is obviously there to be part of its cooling.
Okay.
You don't see any schematics out in the open, but there are a couple of drawers.
I mean, I'm gonna have a rummage, so
You have a
I
rummage. You go through some pretty standard manuals of mechanical engineering, and like a lot of it's for standard practice. Like, oh, what happens if your wheel falls off? Oh, well, you follow these steps. Also rather basic stuff for somebody that's a mechanical engineer for this wonder of building. You also find a letter with a wax seal on it. It appears unopened.
It appears.
Unopened.
I mean, what's the seal of? Because I'm probably not going to recognize it as any particular thing, but I might recognize what
It's just a plain wax seal.
It's just a
No
blob.
emblem.
Not got
It's a blob of wax. Just.
I don't think that's really going to interest Nick now. So I'm going to get my little laser pointer of usefulness, and I'm going to start. So this piece of the cooling system, I'm going to start sort of almost trying to, weld with the laser pointer and cast mending, and ting on the hammer that I think is supposed to let Gorath know that I'm here.
Okay, so you put the letter back, Manual's back in the book drawer. The sorry, really itchy eyes all of a sudden. Ah, right. You look across the string of tools that are strewn across this wall, all hanging in their specific places, and it's interesting as the cabin rocks, they sway. None of them fall. Specifically placed, hung in specific ways that they're made to deal with the turbulence of travel. And as you look across the wall, you see one really old, weathered hammer. The handle is frayed and worn down, almost like it was sanded too thin. The hammer itself is rusted, shaved, and almost, when something's been shaved down too much on one end, it kind of a diagonal, like it's been used a lot.
Yeah.
And it hangs there.
Well, they said to ting it, and then the no. So I'm probably gonna, because I'm guessing it's too tall for me. So I'm probably gonna have to take off one of the other hammers to ting that one.
Okay, so you get another hammer, pick up one of the other tools to reach it, and what do you do with it?
So just with the head of the hammer, I'm gonna hit the sort of the side of the thing to try and make it. He said ting it. So
Okay.
I'm going to make it, metal on metal.
You go up to it and you go.
I'm not going to go crunch and try and like sort of, embed this hammer in it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to metal on metal ring. And I'll do that a couple of times.
Ding, ding, ding on the
and
hammer.
Then I'll go back to trying to mend this cooling system.
Okay. The moment after the third ting on the hammer, you hear as the trapdoor in the floor comes out of the floor, swings back. You see the frizzy, mad curly black hair of the dwarf poke up through the floor, eyes wide, alerted to your presence, and shoots up from the floor, going, "What are you doing?"
I'm trying to fix the broken cooling system.
No, you're touching my hammer! And he kind of launches himself at you and swings your arm down from the hammer and like adjusts the hammer on the wall perfectly so.
What the cat person told me to do.
Did he know?
He said, "Come down here and ting the hammer, and then you could come and we could collaborate, but not to get competitive."
Never touch that hammer again.
Technically, I didn't touch it. I touched that hammer.
Right. Out if you're going to be smart.
Oh no, they're not going to get on at all.
Do you want me to finish fixing this bit first?
What do you mean finish fixing it?
Your cooling system.
Narrows his eyes at you. What do you know about cooling systems?
The hot
They
stuff
make
goes in there and it loses temperature and comes out cooler at that end. And that bit you've got like sort of stress fractures there and there and there, and I've been sticking them back together.
Right. Well, you are correct. Stress fractures on the metal. Needs replacing every so often. I have to go around the entire system of the entire cart where any steam is produced, where there is friction and heat. I have to make sure that the cooling system is operating, and sometimes it requires it to just be replaced here and there.
I mean, when it gets hot and cold, it does tend to swell and contract.
Yes, indeed. Wait, who said that?
Hang on. I know there's one of these that does stuff, and there you go. So what you need to try and find on your so you should ask your cat person if they can get any verdonite, because that heals itself.
Verdinite.
Yeah. So if you made it out of that, or like an alloy of that, then it like might just self heal.
The amount of verdinite that we would need to keep this particular contraption running would cost ridiculous amounts. We would be better off building a fleet of these things than buying the amount of verdinite it would require to build one of these.
Well, that depends if you have to make it all out of verdinite or if you can make an alloy with a little bit of verdinite. Because as I understand, like the organic metals, you can kind of
If
do
you
stuff.
know anywhere I can get my hands on enough verdinite to repair my entire cooling system for this thing, I'd be my guest.
How big is your cooling system? Like, if this is like, is this like 1%, 10%, 50%?
This is probably not even 1%. There's cooling systems along the entire undercarriage of the train.
And you cool it because of the steam? And
There
what are you
is
using as your
steam,
coolant?
yes, and depending on where we're traveling and the temperature of the oils and look, it's all a bit complicated, but what was your question? What are you doing here? What do you want?
Well, I was kind of impressed with the cool, like, sort of road train thing, and like the cat
Yes,
person
she's
came to
very
come and
impressive,
talk to
isn't
you,
she?
and said we might be able to like sort of come up with something.
Come up with what? Exactly. Everything's perfectly fine. I don't really need any help.
Well, your cooling system breaks down.
That's normal. And it gets replaced. And I fix it
But
and
that's
we
what.
carry on.
But what are you using as a coolant?
Well, a combination of what would you suggest?
He loves that. Just hang on 1 second.
Um,
What would you use?
um, I tend to use like I'm gonna like dip my hand in my little pouch and pull out like my healing grease that I use for basically everything.
I don't even know what that is.
um, it's great. Like it heals. It's good for wounds, and it's good for repairing things, and it's good for making things slippy. And if you shoot it out of a water pistol, then you can make big patches of like slidey things. Um,
While you're talking, he's going through a chest and he's taking out one big like clay flask, popping it down, taking out another one. There we go. Like there's a big metal cylinder which seems to be coated in like a thin layer of frost. And he takes that and pops it down on the workbench. This is what I use. And it's a bit
um,
easier to get hold of than verdinite.
can I open the flask and have a look in?
You might want to stand back a bit, and I wouldn't put your fingers in there if you value them. Takes out these big, massive gloves, like thick gloves. Here, gonna handle it. Handle it with caution. He shows up his hand where he's missing one finger.
No. Okay. I will put a big glove on, and I will try and
Kind of, it's really tight. Um, make me an athletics check.
athletics.
He's a
Just
strong
strength
fellow.
because I'm not proficient. I rolled a 3, so I got a whopping 6.
It's really tight. It's like frozen shut.
Robo Zoom, see if you can open this. And I'll pass it to Robo Zoom.
Walking in behind. What the? Oh,
Gorath realizes the dude knows how to build robots.
yeah. Looks at it just like, who made this?
I did. So like my friend Nazoom went into the forest, but he didn't go into the forest. He actually died. But then he went into the forest, and then the forest grew the rest of Robo Nazoom. But rest of Nazoom. He's sat in there with the horse.
Oh, the tree-looking rodent thing.
But so
I thought that was something you killed and would bring him back as a trophy.
no, that's Nazoom. He like sort of goes to sleep. I think he kind of needs to do the tree thing and like photosynthesize or something. Um, and so I had a big pug robot that I called Pudgy, and he died in the fight that killed Neurodo and normal Nazoom. So I was like, well, I like Nazoom, so I made a new one. And this is Robo
Right.
Nazoom.
Well, it's good work. Hmm. Like you can see, it almost pains him to say that.
No,
You did
I
good.
can't. I have an insight of -1.
He literally picks up the jar out of your hands, pots on the gloves, and then you kind of like mist kind of pours out from the sides and takes off the lid and pushes it across towards you. That is made from shards of refined ice methods. And we make a solution out of it, which is diluted with some other acidic compounds. And with that flows through my coolant system, keeping this place running slick.
I'm gonna look around for something that I could like sort of poke in there to stir it.
You
Like,
find a nice long file.
yeah.
Pick it up and you dip it in.
Basically, I want to see if
out.
it's bitty. He
If
said it's like sort of made from if it's bitty, if it's got bits in there, or if it's a liquid. Is it just completely liquid, or is it like lumpy or got any chunks in?
You dip it in, and as you pull this metal thing out, it's almost entirely coated in this like slick substance, and the metal itself starts to look brittle. And as you lift it up and you take it to the side, you just catch the file on the edge of the flask, and the file just shatters.
Is it like just too concentrated a cold thing?
This is the concentrated version. It is diluted down to a more manageable temperature to keep everything running smoothly. If I had this like purely running through, all the pipe work would just shatter.
Okay.
But he pops the lid back on. Obviously, restocking on that is quite expensive. We tend to only collect those when we get to the major cities.
Do they have lots of like ice method corpses?
Not your average market, no.
Because I've never come across that in a. I mean, would I have come across that in? I mean, I'm assuming there are sort of. I will have gone into weird and wonderful shops in Erindor, but it doesn't seem the
ice methods, probably anything in regards to ice methods probably haven't reached this far south.
It's too warm.
Or not south enough. But yes, no, it is a case of this is ice methods you don't really see around this part of the world. Master Whisker certainly is well traveled and has connections across the world in regards to where he collects things. So certain items of rarity that require the running of this magnificent piece of technology, he has fingers in many pies, so to speak.
Have you tried the opposite? Rather than trying to cool it, actually have something. So, like, like a fire method or a magma method or something that could like just use the temperature.
What absorb the extra heat? Is that what you're
By
saying?
becoming hot. Yeah. Or
And what
you
would happen to the method that was doing that? Surely it would just get too hot at some point and we need to contain that somehow.
The ray in me's going balmy.
I suppose there's a lot of rooms in this thing that could contain a. I'll bring it up to Master Whisker. He might be able to accommodate such a notion. But at the
I've got to
moment,
say it.
it ain't broke. Not gonna fix it.
I mean, you could always just like stick it underneath like a big boiler, and you could also boil the water with it.
His name is Whisker.
yeah, I've got that.
Something, Whisker.
Yeah, except that's probably not his name. This is just
His
payback.
name is Whisker.
Yeah, but it's probably not. That's probably to piss him off because I got him to. He got me to.
You better mention that right before him.
But you know, okay. Well, yeah, I'm quite happy to sort of talk shop and see like what I can come up with that might help. I may also draw the schematic for a prosthetic finger.
He looks at the part of what you like. You quickly write this up. Like a prosthetic thing is nothing for you. Like you've fucking got a full-on robot.
Yeah, just a
you
finger.
whip up this prosthetic finger and you show it, and he's just like, his eyes just widen at the idea of just like, yeah, well, I've got one. I just am not wearing it at the moment. He kind of folds it up and puts it in his pocket.
Luke, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this the difference between a mechanic and an artificer?
Yes. This is a big difference between a mechanic and an artificer.
He's like, the fuck?
Somebody who knows how to keep a car running doesn't necessarily know how to build one.
Or make one that can fly.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'll leave you to your little trapdoors. I'm gonna go and try and get some sleep before we get to like River Point.
Okay. Next time, don't touch the hammer. Just knock on the trapdoor. That's my old pa's hammer. Keep it around for good luck.
It's been very used.
Yes, well, Master Whisker knows I hate anyone touching my things. So it's his idea of a joke. Ha ha, funny. Going back to work, and he kind of puts a helmet on and some goggles, puts the gloves back on, takes the bit of the coolant the cooler that you've just built, and gets back down into the trapdoor and is about to pull it back over him.
Okay. I will wander back to our carriage.
You just hear clunking down below. You wander back to your carriage. Ellie is sat there knitting. Fiona has kind of fallen asleep, nestled in one of the wingback chairs.
I'm making a scarf.
I'm probably gonna curl up on one of the chairs and sort of, fall asleep too, because I don't want to get a rest before we get to River Point.
Luck,
I might make gloves.
what are you doing?
Well, upon feeling the attunement, as much as the little thing makes her want to keep it, in her head she's like,
Fuck.
the one thing I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah. You know the worst part about it though is you proved knick-knack right. Said you was gonna.
Not intentionally. So yeah, she's going to put it in her pouch and she's going to pop her head back where everyone is, like, Ellie,
You say,
Ellie.
The cold feeling rescinds from your fingers as you put it through in your pouch. And
yeah?
the anxiety and despair kind of melts away. But there's that unnerving feeling in the back of your mind, like you're always being watched.
Ellie.
Yeah? Just puts it away in a bag. What?
Just grab and pull, like, go in the private chamber, like,
What?
Private
fuck.
chamber? Which private chamber?
Well, the one I was in.
The one you were in? Okay.
Go like, I closed the door. I may have done a mistake unintentionally.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you're telling me because
Knick-Knack doesn't have, he lacks the controls to not say anything.
oh, this is supposed to be a secret. Okay.
Yeah.
You're telling the one person who can't lie a secret.
Ah,
Oh, well, he
sort
can
of.
lie. He just doesn't like to lie.
I don't like to lie. The whole human skin thing makes it easier.
So, I may or may not be cursed. Yeah. And we're going to need to find a cleric. But you're going to need to have to force me to go to a cleric. Kicking and screaming, surely. But you're going to have to do it.
I know we were talking about things earlier on, but this is a bit much for even for me.
Do you prefer I turn on you?
No, but it was that blasted black rock, wasn't it?
I pray
Oh
to
my god,
goddess.
it would have been better to put it in the cat.
Look. I didn't mean it. My goddess has shown me something. And I tried something for a little too long.
Oh my god, you're not perfect after all.
I never was. That's the point.
Good, you have flaws.
Of course I have flaws. Everyone has flaws. What
Says the
did you
beautiful
think?
7-foot tall angel woman.
Yeah.
Wait,
Says the
hold on.
person without literal flaws, at least appearance-wise.
No, I have flaws. Everyone has flaws.
I
Hold on.
know
Did you
they
think I
do.
was perfect?
I don't know with you
I have
blasted
issues.
celestials. Oh, I know that.
Issues means I'm not flawless. We're not perfect. The goddesses didn't make us perfect because imperfection what makes us perfect.
You've just called yourself perfect in your imperfection.
Yeah.
Perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, sounds like something an angel would say. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfect in my perfection. Okay. Whatever you say, Lord Angel.
Look. Can you turn? I don't think.
I literally do like a ballet pirouette and then look at her again.
Up. And you'll.
What?
Is
Do you want
it
me
rude
not to look at you anymore?
No. Is it rude to ask you to be your true self?
Normally, yes. Whatever. Does the door behind us lock?
Yes, it does lock.
I lock it from the inside.
Don't require. You don't have the proper tool for it.
I just
to
thought it'd be like a
No,
bathroom.
no. It has a lockable function, but you lack the ability to lock it.
Quickly.
Make a bargain with me.
I've made one of those already.
It's not the same one.
It's the same thing. Promises.
Look. For some reason, you think that you own me. If you really own me, let's make a deal. I know. And I don't want you to own me. That's the thing. That's bugging me the whole time. I
You
think that's
saved me.
something. Yes. And I don't like owning. I don't like people saying that they own
The
me.
moment you say, let's make a deal,
That's why
you
I smiled.
notice immediately the typewriter on the desk, the letters on the keys start to glow in gold.
I don't like this train.
The fuck is going on? Again.
Let's do this
Yeah.
properly, but not cat way. I go back to my stuff, where I keep all my crafting things. And go back, and I come back with a piece of ribbon. Well, sort of. It's like a woven thing.
Do you attach it around the wrist?
It's a promise.
Not good enough for me. I really don't like you thinking that you own me, though.
I mean,
It makes my skin crawl.
I don't know why you want to hang out with the Fae.
I don't like you owning me as much as you don't like owning something to me.
It's not a dislike, it's simply how it functions.
It's not fair.
That is how it works.
I shall not discuss what is fair and what is not with a fae.
Don't care.
I'm aware, but I don't. You don't own me your life. Look, let's make the deal. Let's be even.
How we're friends.
Does it have to be symbolic, or is it like magic at play?
No. No.
No to what?
If it's symbolic or if it's magic. It just is.
Oh. It's
Like
a principle.
Like what happened with the Nixies.
So will
Promise is a
we?
promise.
Yeah, but will
Blood
we
isn't
have?
always needed.
Huh.
It is simply a... How can I put this? It is slightly symbolic, I suppose.
Hmm?
Oh, it's typing this fucking out.
Oh my god. Deal's over! Is it still writing?
It's still writing.
It stopped.
Okay.
Does it make a piece of paper?
Can't see any paper.
No, that
in
one
it
had
at the moment.
paper in it.
No, but like if it was typing onto something.
Not at the moment.
Do you think it's still writing when I say?
There's a piece of paper on there, but nothing seems to appear to have been typed on the paper as of yet.
Okay. Where is the sound coming from?
On the typewriter.
It's typing, just not here, which is very frustrating.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't say too much. So, think he... It's fine. Look, let's do this.
Hold their hand out. I grab her wrist, she grabs mine, and I wrap the rope around both of
What
us.
is the nature of this deal? What is this promise?
I'm effectively making a hand fasting right now. I'm going to say the words in a minute.
Right.
What do you want of me?
I would like you. This shard might endanger your life.
Yes?
It will. I know it. I'm sorry again.
Life is dangerous.
I want you to save me from it in order to save you. And what I mean by that is that I don't want to die. I don't want harm that comes to me. I just want you to be safe. So I want you to save me from this item so you can be. Oh, for the love of the goddesses.
Ding!
1 second. Do you want to be no longer connected to said item?
Yes, without it being in a lethal or harmful way.
I can promise I will attempt my very best to make it non-lethal.
And you promise I won't be left, if harmed, too much impaired, whether it is physically or mentally.
I will attempt in the best of my power to ensure you are the least harmed possible.
Do you want something else in return?
Favor. One that will not be the one that will not hurt you or anyone you care for.
You do know that does include you, right?
Why would you care for me? We've known each other 2 weeks.
Maybe, but you're a living creature, a living being. Why would I want harm for you?
I doubt that you care for every living being.
As much as it sounds that I do not, I actually do. And that's why I'm down here and I'm up there.
You eat, don't you?
Do you really want to go on that terrain?
True.
Because you also eat.
I don't say I care.
You do what is necessary to survive, and so do I, unfortunately.
I will attempt to decouple you from this affliction and cause the least amount of... Luke, I love that you're doing it, but it's genuinely making me stutter.
Sorry.
It's very thematic, but it's making it difficult. Which is
I want to
probably
make
the
it
point.
easy, but still.
Affliction. And you owe me a favor that I may call.
But that also means you still owe me a favor. for saving your life.
Call
You
it
don't want
what?
that one to hand?
How about this?
Mm.
Let's just call it balanced.
It still bothers me that you think that you owe me your life. But if it would make it even and you don't owe me anything anymore, then I'm okay with it.
Ding.
This is going to make this very fucking difficult.
I'm sorry.
It's not you, it's that thing. I can't say the next part in here.
Whisper it to me?
I whisper something to her. Does it still type?
Don't know yet till you whisper something.
No, but that's what I just say any old nonsense.
It hasn't been typing everything you say.
It's
Don't know whether
only
you were.
part of the
Yeah.
deal.
It's. I
But the
haven't been
next,
doing that noise when you haven't been saying something that
I
isn't
know, but the
relevant to the
next
deal.
part of this thing would be part of the deal, and it wouldn't be something that Misk would want recorded.
You won't know whether it'll hear you until you say something that's part of the deal for it to try and pick up. So it's a gamble you have to take.
Maybe say it backwards.
Say it.
Sorry, you cut out a bit.
I have to say it.
Yeah, you have to say it, but that doesn't mean you have to say it in a very specific way from what you just tell me.
The next
just
part's quite specific. Armo Misk Podneher Niv. Armo Mion. You say Armo, your name.
I can't say that. I don't have.
It's not the name your parents gave you, it is your name. Oh
With
God, I
this,
never explained true names to you, did I?
if I were to give you the name that my parents gave me,
What would you be called if you had every choice? What name in your heart screams you?
well, that's a hard question, to be honest.
That is your true name.
You picked a name once before.
I have this name right now, but
I go by Ellie, and Cass, and many others. Those aren't true.
yeah, but luck is. Let's be honest. I chose this name out of spite.
How about this? Do you, la angel before me, Armion? Say Armion.
Armion.
I tie the knot.
Ow!
Ding!
We can hear that.
And you see pages and pages of reamed text of everything that you've said in regard to this deal. start pouring out of the typewriter in fine calligraphied gold text.
Okay, I rip off that part.
Your deal
I know you
is
have a thing
typed
against
out in front
burning
of you.
things, but could you?
Fine.
Thank you.
Should we burn the rest, though?
This place is made out of wood. I just don't want this place knowing my name.
No, the stack of paper. Just a stack of paper.
Burn the receipt. The thing get wrote, burn it.
Yeah, she's going to take the stack of paper that basically is the contract, scrumble it a bit, and burn it into the hand. So there's no trace whatsoever.
Burn the paper.
The paper catches a light, and you hold it in your hands, and the fire and the magic keeps the item there floating, and the paper burns away. And you're left with lines of gold. And as you stop the burning, the lines outstretch and the text isn't on paper, but still right like uncrinkles itself. The text that was on paper is written out in gold in midair.
I'm going to touch it and try to see if I can get it to imprint on my arm.
As you touch it, the gold goes onto your fingers and kind of seeps in. Your fingernails turn gold. You feel a slight shimmer up your arm. Disappears.
Just this of this end.
But you've got gold fingernails on both hands.
I think the server's having issues.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Matt, I didn't
Everyone
realise
is
you'd
frozen
frozen.
for me. Oh, hang on, I think it's popped back.
Yeah.
No,
Everyone's
I was
good
going to
here.
say I could hear you.
I could hear everyone, but everything froze.
It's fine. We could hear you.
Yeah.
Apologies, Matt.
Yeah.
What?
Lucca's going to look at her nails like, well, would you look at that? I don't need to
Suits
do
you.
my nails.
I look at mine.
Do you want me to do yours?
No.
Hmm.
It's difficult to change.
It would look pretty.
I look at her and I literally just make them change colour.
You know what? No, maybe green. Green is a bit better for you.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Just changes their colour.
Yeah. Yeah, green is better. Ellie, it goes with Ellie's eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
Green's her colour.
Have you seen yourself in the mirror?
When I made her, yes.
Oh, good. Then
I haven't.
you would know.
I have
Right.
I own a mirror.
You do? Well, that's good.
I can't remember her name, but she had pretty eyes.
The glowing on the typewriter fades.
Sorry, I just wanted to say one little, just fucking slightly
That's all right.
cryptid thing. Just, I don't know, I can't remember her name. I liked her eyes.
Should we go to sleep, though?
Luke?
Yeah.
You said she knew people from Silverfern.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she'd know enough to recognise somebody's eyes?
Probably. But
The right check, maybe.
yeah. History, I take.
She doesn't know every single person.
I know.
I know it's a small
it's just
town, but still.
Slightly cryptid thing of that mentioning it and just going, oh fuck, you look like those are the baker's eyes. Fuck.
That's creepy.
These are Luck's eyes.
You know what I mean? Because I
Oh.
remember when I did it, I was just watching the townspeople going, I'm going to take a bit of them, a bit of them, a bit of them, and I'm going to make an Ellie.
That's a good question. Is there anything of Ellie which is actually Lux?
There was, I'm sure, when you were describing.
Yeah. remember.
Well, you
There
did
is
say.
something, but I can't remember. It's been too long.
What? I think
You'll
it
have to
was.
look at the video and
Yeah,
recall.
I think it was the. Yeah.
What do you remember, look?
What I remember when you said that you created it and we talk afterward,
Yeah.
you did mirrored Ellie's personality on look.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me.
I thought you needed another parent.
Parent. What do you mean by that? Oh, fucking.
You were upset because you felt like you were the one making all the important decisions, and you were the responsible one.
Oh, yes.
I had spent too long on this side, forgetting where I came from. So I decided to be responsible too.
Well, you plenty are when you want to. But you want to know what's the saddest thing about this whole ordeal?
You make me want to be responsible. Well, you don't. It's not you. It's the past, and you, and it's all together.
So, in an indirect way, I make you responsible.
You reminded me of someone I used to know.
Tales for a later date, I think. But you know one thing that is really sad about this whole thing?
What?
I never really had a family. One that cared anyway.
Oh, I must introduce you to mine.
Wouldn't man get adopted?
We all are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wouldn't mind get
No,
adopted.
like, we all are. Arushi.
I understand. And I say, I wouldn't mind. To be honest, look at me. If it weren't for my eyes, you would think I'm one of you.
You don't have the... You don't have the hair or the tail. Miski's literally furry.
Yeah.
Like a monkey. You'd fit in.
Yeah?
At least personality-wise.
I'm not that kind of stuck up. I don't have a broom up my ass, as many people may think.
I don't mean it like that. I mean... Oh, God, how do I explain it? I come from a group of people where adoption is the way of life.
Mm.
If you want to join the Vardo, you join the Vardo.
Does that mean family? Oh, Jesus.
Caravan
Oh.
means caravan.
Hmm.
Though ours is significantly less advanced than this thing. This thing creeps me out a little.
Everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh dear.
Sorry, we've been talking too long. We need to roll
No, it's
things.
all right.
Is that
19.
a disadvantage if I'm asleep?
Yeah. Why not?
19.
1
19?
second, Ellie. Loading back up again. No, wrong thing.
Luck, you lean out and you catch your balance on the desk in front of you.
That was 12 for me.
Knick-knack, you roll off of the wind-backed armchair that you're currently nestled in and land on the floor and are shaken awake.
17.
Ellie, you manage to do the same. You reach out, you bounce yourself a hand out onto the desk and...
Are we there yet?
Knick-knack.
Yes.
You hear a running to down the stairs of the cart next to you, and Whisker opens the door and is just like, right, everybody to closes the door behind him, takes out his rapier.
All
We
the
have
noise just just shrinks back down again.
we have a we have a slight problem.
Yes.
And I imagine because we're still in the study.
You two are in the study.
Yeah.
No, it's just
A different room.
I can just imagine all the noise that he just boom, it's back into Ellie.
What's the problem?
We have we've awoken Max. It tends to happen every time I come through here, but yes, might need a hand or two. The whole place kind of is just rattling around, chandeliers shaking,
my hand
curtains
out
swinging,
and I keep it knotted and I put it in my pocket.
Okay, what's Max?
Have you ever heard of a bog kraken?
Have I ever heard of a bog kraken?
Roll me an H check.
No, I haven't.
Never heard of a bog kraken before. The turbulence is heavier, much heavier, and it's louder. It seems like something like while it's moving, it feels like something's like something's colliding with the train.
I know the windows are sort of like they're black misty things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to one and be like, so is there any way I can see outside?
Yes, certainly. Are you sure you're going to want to, though?
Well, I can't really help unless I know what's going on.
What can I say? He takes a claw and taps on the glass, and the glass suddenly becomes transparent, and you see out into a rainy night sky, and quickly you see pressed up against the glass a large giant sucker of the inside of a tentacle up against the glass.
I think this is the part where me and Luke burst into the room and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yes. So Gora,
What?
and
just looks at the tentacle.
A rug flips up in the middle of the room as a trapdoor in the floor comes up, and you see Gorath poking his head up, and he's just like, and and Whisker looks to Gorath and says, how are we going? Well, if we keep our rate of pace, and he doesn't catch any of the gears and keeps the wheels keep managing to keep traction, we should be fine. And if we don't, we might be in a bit of trouble.
Can I borrow some of your method juice?
Absolutely not. That is needed to keep it. You showed him the method juice? What method juice? You showed him the. We don't call it method juice. It's very refined. Look, I was interested. You told him to go down there. I told him to. Right, that is enough.
I only need little bits.
Right. I need all of you up top now. Defensive stations. You look like you can handle yourselves. Maybe not you, little gnome. You can stay down here.
What the hell is going on?
He just slams on the side of the wall, and two ladders come down on either side. One end of the compartment, and one down on the other, and you see almost like the wood rotates where it is, where these wood panels turn, and then they slide inwards, and there's two like metal hatches appear above. Yes, we've got to deal with Max.
Max is a bog kraken.
Yes, he's
Do we know what it is?
Area. A bog kraken. Make me a nature check.
Okay. Apparently not 2022.
Okay, bog krakens are in the name. So not as big as your standard kraken of the ocean, but kraken-like creatures that are in the deep depths of swampy, boggy waters and under terrain rivers. And they send up their tentacles through the marshes and the wetlands to essentially prey on very large creatures that are big enough to feed a kraken. It seems that the Tinker Train, in its large movement form and the vibrations that it creates,
The kraken thinks it's a big snake.
Kraken thinks it's prey, thinks it's something it can eat.
Oh, shit.
Yes, so yes, usually normal people, smaller people traversing on horseback get left alone because they're like popcorn. Where the Tinker
Yeah.
Train can sometimes allure it, thinking it's something much bigger and juicier. As I said, everybody up top. And he
I head up
climbs
top
up
first,
and climbs
and
up
I
this
would
ladder.
like to say something.
Go for it.
Arwen, I thought we could get to River Point.
We will. We just got to shake off Max. Kurt climbs up.
I
Minsk
wasn't
was
really
top.
talking to. I was. The Nixie said we could get to River Point.
Mm.
Nixies and a Bog Kraken are on two different kind of hierarchies.
Yeah, true. Just because the soldier says, sure, we'll let you, all of a sudden Dragon shows up.
The Nixies say, yeah, the Nixies will leave you alone. The Bog Kraken, on the other hand.
Yeah, okay.
She looks at the tabaxi and she's just like glares, daggers. Like if a look could kill, he
What?
would be cinders.
I would like to fire at the Bog Kraken.
Well, I think we have to climb up onto the roof first.
Yes, you have to
I
climb
ran
up
up to the top
so-
of the roof so I
He
could
went
talk
up.
to the.
as you
So I can
poke
attempt
up
to talk to the Nixies nearby.
on the head, atop the you go up through the main hatch. And as you get to the main hatch, you are on. It is raining. It is windy as this thing is moving. And as you look around and you're trying to get your dark vision to adjust because
I
of
don't
the
have it.
not dark vision, sorry, like trying to adjust your eyes into dim light because
My apologies.
there's moon, there's dark. It's like when you go from being in a very brightly lit area to going outside, your eyes have to take a moment to adjust to the area.
My apologies. I just didn't want to come across as always
No, it's all
having a
right.
thing I don't have.
No, it's okay. It is raining, it is windy, and you see a very, very large, giant tentacle swooping up along the side, trying to constantly grasping at the carriage. There is alongside the top, there is railing, and in this split second you can see that the railing is rotating, and every time that the tentacle grasps onto the carriage, this rotating rail is causing it to lose its grip and like pulling it off.
Huh. That's clever.
Right, everybody in position, and then you see him Whisker
I look.
run.
Is there positions?
You see two mounted, kind of about the same size as the desk in front of me. You see like a mounted auto ballista on one end, and on the other end you see what looks to be like a giant harpoon.
Okay. Who gets the harpoon? Who gets the ballista? I don't care which.
I can do
Knick-knack.
magic.
Nick, yeah, but
Are
I'm
you all
looking at
making
the.
your way
we're
up
all
to the top?
Working our way up
Yeah.
top. I'm just looking at the artificer and going, which one do you want? Because a harpoon gun or a ballista. I
This
shoot a
auto
bow.
ballista is like it shoots like looking at it immediately.
It's a big crossbow.
It's a big crossbow, but the bolts aren't as big as you might think. The harpoon is what's firing like a massive, like giant iron bolt. The ballista is like auto
Lots of
firing, medium-sized like bolts.
I am already proficient in crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
How good are you at harpoon guns?
I technically have firearms proficient.
Oh, I want to see how this
Although
happens.
it is an optional DM
Yeah, DM
discretion.
has to give permission because firearms isn't always in these games.
Firearms are in this game.
Oh my god, I can get a gun.
And as you see Gorath climb up to the top, you see him like there's this big metal
Oh, and a
cylindrical
shotgun.
tubing along the top, and you see him undo a bolt and lift it open, and you see an array of crates inside this big metal tubing, and he starts lifting open lids and getting out all sorts of toys ready for himself to use.
Oh my god, can I steady aim a ballista?
You can.
I'm
asking the
I'm
DM.
going to go to the one on the left, which I think is the harpoon.
Oh, well.
You go over to it's the front and it's at the back.
Okay.
Turret at the back, harpoon at the front, and then there's a big box of toys that Gorath is about to delve into on the top.
I want to get in the ballista.
I have a question. Is there a way for me to strap myself so I don't fall?
There's railings all along.
I throw you some rope.
And I'm going to ask everybody to roll for initiative.
Oh, yeah. I tie myself to the seat of the ballista.
16 here.
8.
No,
If I have time.
Knick-Knack is just scuttling along to the big gun thing.
Oh, 7. I rolled terribly. Let's have a little fight before it finishes.
Gorath is going to roll an 11.
Let me get one of my little notebooks. 1 second.
Old Whisker is going to a 16.
What's the...
Can you
order?
re-roll, Knick-Knack?
Can I re-roll?
Yep.
13.
You go first.
Who goes first?
It's there, bear with me.
Sorry.
I'm going to roll for the Bog Kraken. Oh, God. Okay. Really badly. First up is Knick-Knack.
So I'm heading towards the harpoon. And is it loaded?
It is loaded and ready to go.
So I have a bag of caustic salt.
You do.
That I may have tried to poison everyone at the fair with. Can I?
May.
What?
I love how you say things. Just may.
I was trying to make it better. It's not my fault they put caustic salt instead of the normal salt. They look the same, white and powdery. So I'm gonna try. Basically, I'm gonna sprinkle some of that on the point of the bolt.
Okay.
Matt, you're making me very worried when we go to your house.
Why?
Look, I've already eaten at Matt's and I'm fine.
Good constitution. That last, I did far too much food, and it lasted like the rest of the week. It did like lunches left over. I used 2 slow cookers, and I made 10 liters worth of food for everyone that came to D&D in a cave.
So you go over, you sprinkle on, you throw a handful of
caustic
salt
on the
onto
bolt,
it,
and then
you rush over to the harpoon controls. There's 2 big levers.
yeah, and we're gonna try and shoot Max.
Okay. You
Um,
so
is it just tentacles at the moment, or is there actually a
there is one big tentacle that has kind of risen out of the mud and the muck below.
Okay, I want to kind of aim water level for that, so like towards something body, if I can.
Okay, right. Roll to hit.
What is it? Is it a dex? Is it a
This is going to be a. We're going to consider this a. We'll call you proficient because you're proficient in firearms. What
okay?
would the proficiency be for your firearms attack?
It's Dex.
Normally it's dex.
That's that. Okay. I just can't remember whether you've got some weird artificer thing
So
which
if
changes
it's
it
a
to
magical
intellect.
thing, then I can use intelligence.
So you can use intelligence if you wish.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a magic. It's a magic one.
Mhm.
Which is then basically I might as well just roll my magic dart thing.
Yeah.
So you've got two levers that rotate the harpoon, and then there's two like handles on the harpoon on the levers that when you pull them and push back, they fire.
22.
22. So you line yourself up, you get the levers, you pull on the handles, you fire this large kind of iron steel like fires off harpoon, and you hear as it kind of impacts into flesh and bone down below, and you hear crumpling, and you see large chains attached to this harpoon suddenly go taut, and
I've got one.
everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
Ah, shit.
As the entire cart suddenly lurches as Nick Nack has
Oh no.
essentially forced this entire train into the equivalent of a handbrake turn.
10.
I'm attached and a 10 for me.
Then, luck, you're prone.
Okay, it's fine.
That's fine. You hit the deck.
22 for me.
22, you're in your seat, you're like lurched and it rotates and you're on your levers and you're
I've
you
caught
kind of
one.
spin. You kind of spin, but you like you're there. Ellie,
Calamari
10.
for breakfast.
10, you hit the deck.
Okay, so no steady aiming this turn.
Whisker kind of grabs onto the railing on the side, even though it's rotating, and like manages to stay on his feet. And Galak hits the deck, like opens up one of the chests and falls headfirst into it.
Oh.
Like
Ow.
legs sticking up in the air. And now it is Gold Whisker's turn.
Oh my god, his name is Gold Whiskers.
Gold Whisker. Evil.
Oh.
Gold Whisker reaches down into one of the crates and picks up what looks like a discus. Slams his fist down in the center, and like big blades suddenly stick out from the side of the discus, making it look like almost like a giant ninja star. And then he kind of
It's a crawl thing.
And then he literally grabs like a little cord that's on the top and fires it off, and it goes
Oh my god, it's like a literally flying buzzsaw.
towards.
See,
Yeah,
I was going with Death Beyblade.
yeah, essentially fires off towards
Both is
towards the tentacle. And he says, "Not my first time with Max." And it goes flying off wide into the darkness. And then next up is Galak. Galak is going to kicks his legs and falls backwards out and lands on his behind. He reaches in, he grabs one of the same ones and
Shit.
and that one also fires off wide into the darkness.
They're rolling terribly.
They
Yeah.
are rolling terribly. Next up is Luck.
With that 20 that I got on a creature, would I be able to tell if they have any kind of weaknesses or anything? Something it doesn't like?
Let me have a look at my stat block.
Oh, yeah.
So is everyone good for calamari for breakfast?
Yeah.
It doesn't have any damage immunities. At least
Mhm.
the tentacle doesn't in this stage of the fight. There are no damage immunities or resistances
Oh, I think
that you
it
need to
means
be
if we
aware of.
literally try and kill it, not just make it go away.
Yeah, you're literally fighting a single tentacle of this thing. You're not fighting the
Yeah,
entire
but we're
creature.
quite happy chopping it off and having lots of calamari.
Exactly. So for that nat 20, what I will do, I will tell you its abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grapple and drag. So anytime that a tentacle slam hits a creature, on a successful hit, the target must make a DC 16 strength saving throw or be grappled. While grappled, the target is also restrained. That's if it hits you, it immediately grapples you.
Okay.
It has a very big reach. Grapple and drag. If a target is grappled by a tentacle, Mudgrubber Max can attempt to drag them 10 feet closer to the water on its turn as a bonus action. The creature must succeed on a DC 14 strength check to resist being moved. Drowning attempt. If a grappled target is dragged into the boggy water, they begin drowning, requiring a Constitution saving throw DC 13. Every turn to avoid taking 5/1d10 bludgeoning damage from the crushing force of the water and mud. Multi-attack. Mudgrupper Max can make up to 2 tentacle attacks on its turn, either targeting separate creatures or focusing both attacks on a single target if it needs to secure a grapple. Special ability. Tentacle Quake. Recharge 5 to 6. Mudgrubber Max can use its tentacles to slam the ground around the Tinker train, creating a shockwave. Each creature within 15 feet of the impact point must succeed on a DC 14 dexterity saving throw or be knocked prone and take 2d6 plus 3 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
So yes, that's the information you get for rolling essentially a nat 20 on a nature roll. It's not fun.
No.
Are you trying to kill us, Luke?
No, I'm not trying to kill you. I'm just trying to make this a fun fantasy
dying
car
is not
chase.
fun.
Big giant tentacle. You're on a magical Tinker train with lots of toys and weapons. Fucking here we go.
I feel like you like combat more than you like role playing. You just stick it in fights.
He plays a monk. Must I remind you?
Good point.
I just
plays a monk. He's a socially awkward monk that is very frustrated because for the couple of sessions that we were fighting, didn't let as much as a hit as he had.
That's like sort of pretty standard for monks, though. They have hundreds of attacks and none of them ever contact. Anyway,
despite my inabilities in my player character, as a DM, I'm going to fucking kill you.
This is where Mudskipper Max is actually a monk.
A Bog Kraken monk. Flurry of blows. Dodge these.
Yeah. Oh God.
Anyway.
Okay, so I do have another question. Sorry. Because they sent those a little disc from what I remember. So if I do catapult on the disc because they were shooting away, would you think I'd be able to bring them back on the tentacle?
They are already gone.
They're gone, Flo.
They're gone.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a shame, but
I mean, you could always just like smack a couple and then just send them off.
yeah, but we would be losing ammunition. That's the thing.
Yeah, but catapulting them's got to be better than what they're doing.
Yeah. You make a point.
They're missing. You shoot it with magic.
Yeah. With that though, and mainly because it's still in the water. I would like to cast Sorcerer's Burst on it, and the damage being lightning.
Okay.
So, no, that's not lightning. I never know the difference between lightning and thunder, if I'm honest.
Lightning's the electricity, thunder is the noise, impact, shockwavey thing.
Ah, that's why. Okay. So it is
Lightning makes
23. Yeah, it's a 23 to hit.
Hit.
Okay.
Well done. You've hit something this time.
Yeah. Don't.
Hang on, you were just on at him about it.
Yeah. That session wasn't your best.
Yeah, and that's one lightning damage.
One lightning damage. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I wonder if lightning does more stuff when you're wet.
Does this thing can see me?
I don't think it needs to see.
Yo, we didn't have a long rest, did we?
Nope.
Yeah. So I cannot use my celestial revelation again. Okay.
Had a long rest since the Barghest fight.
Yeah, but I used my wings for
Scouting.
Yes, for scouting. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I can. That's one thing that I really don't like about ASMR. You just have. It's not a separate thing. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Just going to do a quicken spell. And I used a cantrip, so it's either a cantrip or a level spell. Is there stones on the ground that I can use?
Off of the train, yes. There's nothing on the train in regards to stones.
Okay.
You need something that weighs about 10 pounds.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Can you roll me a dexterity saving throw, please?
That's a fail.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah. You take. God, that's a lot of damage. 17 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my turn. And
You like I imagine it almost like buckshot. You don't fire one single rock, but like loads of pebbles suddenly come launching out of the water and dash against this tentacle, and you just see them going like shredding through the blubber, just like fire through and fall out to the ground. Ellie, you're up.
Second. Now. Am I proficient in big fuck off crossbows?
For the purpose of this fight, I will say yes.
Fine, cool. Because otherwise I don't see how I'm going to actually hit this thing worth anything. Does a 16 hit?
16 does hit.
What do I roll for damage?
I will
Because
roll your
there isn't.
damage.
There's not a button that says ballista.
Roll me 3d10.
Did I do damage with my harpoon?
You did do damage with your harpoon.
Nine.
9.
You said it was like an automatic ballista thing.
Yep. So you
Is it
don't
just an
need to
action to
load
fire?
it. So essentially, action,
Okay.
fire,
No
like,
problem.
and then like you see one immediately just kind of comes up from like there's a magazine underneath the firing mechanism. So as soon as it fires, the cord comes immediately back, and a new one kind of pops up from the magazine above into place.
I want to use my bonus action to give Golden Whiskers advantage on his next roll.
Okay, lovely. And next up is the Bog Kraken. And just going to roll to see who it goes for. 2. The Gold Whisker.
He has advantage on his next attack roll. Well, he has the help action, whatever he wants for.
The tentacle swirls around in the air and leans back and then smacks onto the side of Gold Whisker. And he kind of lurches out and it wraps itself around him. And Gold Whisker
is
grappled.
He's dead.
Gold Whisker is
free
grappled by the tentacle.
Knick-knack. How good do you think you'd be at repairing this thing? Free train. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm trying to make note of it.
So while Gold Whisker is grappled, it's now going to reach up, lift up Gold Whisker, and come back down for a second attack. And this time it's targeting Galak.
Free train.
So it whips up Gold Whisker, it swings, and it comes around for a side swipe against Galak, and Galak just suddenly drops to the ground, and the tentacle goes over the top of him and misses him. And he looks back up and he reaches for another discus. And that is where we're going to leave tonight's session.
Free train.
As a Bog Kraken attacks. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's session.
Brilliant. I love playing with you guys.
What is it, Jack?
Free train.